And some of you were asking about the relationship between dip and slope, right? So here I just want to explain you the basic rule for the relationship between dip and slope. For a foliation like a bedding plane or a fault plane for an axial plane, so let us keep it as an bedding plane, right? So in this case, what happens? There are three probabilities in its orientation. The very first probability is it should be an horizontal formation, right? So that is what it is at the initial stage. So if you are dealing with an horizontal formation or a horizontal bedding plane or whatever the structure that you are dealing with is horizontal, then its structure in a geological contoured map is that should be parallel to the contour line, right? So as the contour bends, the outcrop also bends. As the contour runs straight, the outcrop also runs straight. So this indicates this structure is parallel to the contour. So wherever you are dealing with the horizontal formation, and if there is a contour pattern, then this horizontal formation will be running parallel to the contour pattern. Okay, so that is what if it is horizontal. Then the next case is if it is vertical, right? In a vertical formation, what happens? Just like a dike, whatever the topography it is, but the dike or a vertical formation, it appears as a straight line, right? So you have two different dikes here, which is perfectly vertical. So whatever the topography you are having here, that doesn't control any of its pattern, and it will be simply forming as a straight line. Is that clear? So one is the horizontal formation that will be running parallel to the contour, and the second option will be the vertical formation that will be running as a straight line, right? We have third option, which is somewhat inclined. But in the inclined, we have three different sets, and that set is expressed by the rule called that is a V rule, right? So here we have a inclined formation as well as the slope, right? So when you are dealing with the inclined formation, there are three options. The one is dip and slope in opposite direction. That is, the dip of the formation is towards, say, let it be the north direction, right? The top will be north, right? So the dip of the formation is towards north, the slope of the surface is towards south. As you have two different directions, that is the dip and slope are in opposite direction. That is the first case. Here you can see the V that is formed by the outcrop pattern that is pointing upstream. So this is the resultant of this, right? The second option what we have is we have two options that is opposite to this, that is dip and slope in same direction, right? So when the dip is towards south as well as slope in towards south, we have two subdivision in that also, right? So two cases are, one option is that dip should be more than slope, or the second option is dip should be less than slope. Here you can see dip is more than the slope. Then what you can see is the V that is formed with the outcrop that will be pointing downstream. So you can see the V is pointing downstream, right? In this case, if you see the dip is actually less than the slope, so what happens? The V that is forming due to the outcrop pattern that will be pointing upstream, right? So these are three different options. As it is forming a V-shaped outcrop, it is called as V rule or rule of V. So if it is an horizontal formation, that is perfectly parallel to the contour line, and if it is a vertical formation, that will be running straight in any sort of topography. But if it is an inclined formation, according to the slope direction, you can expect different patterns. So there are three options. One is there are mainly two options. One is opposite to the slope, and other is same as the slope. If it is opposite to the slope, then the V of the outcrop will be pointing upstream. And if it is same as the slope, then what happens? That outcrop will be pointing downstream direction, right? And as it is same of the slope, there are two main options. One is dip should be higher or slope should be higher. So dip is higher, then the V of the outcrop pointing downstream. If the slope is higher, then the V of the outcrop pointing upstream. Is that clear?